Gentleman yields back, Chair. Thanks, the gentleman. The gentlelady from New Mexico is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I share the same frustration as my colleagues up here. It's like, here we go again. A week of Republican futility. This Congress, as we say over and over again, is the least productive Congress since the Depression, and given some of the laws that they keep putting before us, thank heaven for that. And why? Because what we keep seeing in this Rules Committee and on the floor of the House is what I'm trying to figure out, what is it? And it is that there is a constant attempt to foment anger, division, acrimony. They have division, but no vision. Because if they had vision, they'd actually want to try to solve the problems that we have. We don't have an open border. Our ranking member just talked about the numbers, the thousands and thousands and tens of thousands that are incarcerated, that are deported on a regular basis. And Mr. McClintock, in your presentations, you've talked about cartels. These bills have nothing to do with the cartels, but I would assume you would be, given your concern about this, in favor of Bidle's supplemental request, which we're not going to even hear on the floor, I would imagine. But I'm assuming you would be in favor of 1,000 additional CBP field officers to help staff our ports of entry. I would assume that you'd be in favor of $23.2 million for the DEA so we can do more around fentanyl tracing and enforcement. Another $1.4 billion for our shelter and services program so we could address these things. These are things I think actually make a difference. But none of the bills we're seeing here today actually do this. Instead, as we're hearing, again, there is an effort to actually address the border crisis. I'm not sure I'm in favor of it because we haven't actually seen what it looks like. But we've already seen on the House side that it's being killed. Why? Because Trump has said, kill it. It's better for me politically if you kill this deal, and I will happily take the blame for it. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record an article titled GOP Senator, it is, open quote, immoral, close quote, to kill the border deal to help Trump.
Without objection, so ordered.
It is striking what's in this. Senator Tom Tillis, who we pointed out is Republican, says, it is immoral for me to think you look the other way because you think this is a linchpin for President Trump to win. Strong words. Senator Mitt Romney called the effort to kill the bill, open quote, appalling. He noted that there is an issue at the southern border and needs to be fixed. We had Senator Todd Young calling the efforts to disrupt the negotiations as tragic. Senator Tillis again saying it would take courage for members to actually move ahead and get this done. Courage. Courage. What we keep hearing in this Rules Committee and in this Republican-controlled House is outrage, talk about things that then don't get fixed by the bills before us, but sadly not courage. What I think it would take courage to do is if in these bills we actually did something that made a difference. I see Representative Garcia, who is going to testify about the need to have an amendment to these bills so we could have the Dream and Promise Act. That would take courage to actually do something that Americans want us to do, which is make sure that deferred action for children actually happens so that we could reap the economic benefits that these children are providing to our country, recognizing the economic benefits that dreamers bring to us, which would be actually courage to do something right and do something as consistent with what American people need and is so needed by our economy and is, instead of being immoral, the morally right thing to do. I don't know, Ranking Member, if you have any further thoughts about this or wanted to answer any of the other issues that have been raised.
No, I think we've gone through much of it. We're dealing with messaging bills. with hypocrisy, with a political party that doesn't want to solve the problem because it wants the problem for the general election, although various Republican senators, that's not a fair description of them, but it's certainly a fair description of our former president and apparently the House Republicans. There's not much else that can be said. The specifics of these bills I've already criticized, but the specifics are almost unimportant because we know these bills are going nowhere and are intended to go nowhere.
But more importantly, they actually don't fix the problem that the larger issues that have been raised today in bold headlines like this is happening, but none of these bills actually do that. And so that's the thing, is that we need to have the kind of courage to recognize that we need to fix the system, to recognize also the economic benefits that would come to us if we fix the system. We need to do, as my colleague mentioned, go in and invest in the countries where we're sending migrants up here, because until we do that, we have to stop the flow. We need to help people stay where they would prefer to stay, which is in their home country. And with that, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair thanks the gentlelady.